Kyra, let's go ahead and take a look. I've got your writing. I've got your post up right here. I don't see any questions. So let's go ahead and jump right over to the composition. Okay, a couple of missing requirements. I want to talk about that, and then we'll talk about the composition and where we need to be for your final submission. So let's go ahead and take a look. So your object is T, right? Now, the object must be dominant. Neither of these two images is dominant. They're both about the same. They both take up about the same attention in terms of hierarchy, and the reason this isn't hierarchy over this, the reason this doesn't take emphasis or precedence over this image is because though this image is a little bit bigger, this image is visually heavier, as we can see by the heavy blue hue as well as the textured background. So that being said, it's difficult to say if you look at this composition and you ask the viewer what image does the designer want you to look at first. It's going to be difficult for the viewer to say either this one or this one. That points to a lack of hierarchy. If you're going to make one image dominant, make sure it's very, very obvious that it's dominant. That's usually done with scale. Object must be shown with someone using it. Got it. Must show an image of the result of using the object. Got it. Must show at least two components. You've got to show at least two components here. If we don't have that, you should use captions on those components as well. Yes, captions include a design in everyday life. Got it. Got a paragraph of body copy. Got to include those captions. White background. Got it. Asymmetrical. Got it. 7 by 15. Got it. Imagery must come in contact with the edge of the page somewhere twice. Once, twice. Got it. Your image must combine images that your design must combine images that are on boxes as part of a background and cropped. We got that, so that's excellent. Do not put everything in a box, full cover. Keep your image dominant. Yeah, keep that in mind. And then you must use a grid. I don't see the use of a grid here. I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying it's a little bit difficult to see that right now. Okay, so we've got a few missing requirements. Now, as far as where we need to be, let me describe the intent of this assignment. Okay, so basically the difference between this and assignments that you've had in the past is that this is very explicit in saying, okay, I want you, the requirement here is I want you to look at the images and borrow characteristics out of the images to assist you in the compositional layout. So you want to use visual characteristics in the images as a guide for compositional and layout decisions. You want to employ techniques such as visual mimicry, correspondence, implied and or directional lines, juxtaposition of type and image, proximity and conceptual relationships, objective type relationships, and visual substitutions. Now, these are all in the Week 4 Presentation 3, the interaction of words with pictures. So my recommendation would be to review that again and start looking for characteristics in your images that you can use in your layout. Now, this week, there are 4 announcements and 3 lectures for this week's assignment. Now, I really think it's important for you to get in there and take a look at all 3 of those lectures, specifically the last one, where it shows just really these fantastic techniques on how to take a look at any image and borrow elements from the image to assist you in laying out your composition. Also, the announcements. There's 4 announcements and several videos in those Week 4 announcements. So you definitely want to take a look at those. Take a look at the examples. I've deconstructed some examples and described why they work. You definitely want to take a look at that. Okay, so let's talk about typographic. What are we looking for typographically? So you want a kern here. This isn't current. Actually, none of these words are current. So you want to employ kerning. You want to adjust your rags. Okay. Good job using old style figures. That's fantastic. I don't see any place where we're going to be using small caps. I would put a space, a little bit of a space between that kind of subhead here and the body copy. That boil, that's a change in thought. So that should be an M dash, EM, M dash. That's a dash that indicates a change of thought. Okay, so typographically, kerning, leading. I'm not so sure I would use 3 different typefaces in this typographic composition. Take a look at the coffee maker. There's an example in the announcements. It's a coffee maker, like a teal covered coffee maker. Take a look at that example and look at the title treatment in that example. It's beautiful, really gorgeous. And take a look at those things. Matter of fact, let's just go over there right now. I just want to show you these announcements. Really important stuff here. So it's welcome to week 4. I've already got the week 5 announcements up, but back in week 4, the welcome to week 4, how to justify paragraphs, how to adjust your regs, and how to complete assignment 4 tips and tricks. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. This is where you want to be. You want to take a look at this video right here. Definitely want to take a look at that. This video actually gets into
enough of that.
A lot of different examples and goes through the course. You definitely want to take a look at that. And then, of course, tips and tricks, regs. Oh, welcome to week 4. There are some great examples here. This is the one I was talking about right here. And these are all great examples. And I describe why in some of these videos. But this one, take a look at that. That's gorgeous, isn't it? That typographic title treatment. Just beautiful. All right, so anyway, that's where we are at. That's where we need to be. So if you have any questions, I noticed that you had not submitted your second part 2, your final iteration of this project yet. And that's cool. So you'll be able to use this feedback for that final project, right? That's perfect. Makes sense, right? All right, perfect. All right, Kyra, if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any necessary clarifications. But thank you very much for getting your work in.